The National Baseball Hall of Fame opened its doors on this day in 1939. Since that time, 278 former major leaguers have been enshrined in Cooperstown's hallowed halls. But let's try a little bit of a different exercise. Can we come up with the best lineup and starting pitching possible of those who have been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Let's talk about it next right here on the PHLY Phillies Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the PHLY Phillies Podcast. Tyler Zulli here today, and I thought, just like we did a few weeks ago with our quarter-century Phillies team, let's put together the best lineup that we possibly can of players that are enshrined in Cooperstown. Now, here is the criteria to make the team. First and foremost, of course, you have to be a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Second, your position is determined by where you played the most games in your career. This isn't MLB The Show. You don't just get to put anybody anywhere you want. That player had to have played the most positions of their career at that position to qualify for said positions. The third criteria is a little more subjective. Eras are difficult to compare. Stats are important, but they're not necessarily everything in this regard. We'll do our best to compare the eras in an objective way, but understanding it is a difficult thing to do throughout the course of baseball. So let's start with our starting nine. We're going to run through these as quickly as we possibly can. We'll start in the infield. Our catcher in the Baseball Hall of Fame, we're going to go with Josh Gibson. While he never played a game in Major League Baseball, his impact on the game of baseball is unquestionable. He's attributed with a .373 batting average and a 1.176 OPS over his career with the Pittsburgh Crawfords and the Homestead Grays. Stories have been told about him hitting as many as 800 home runs in his career. He's officially credited with 194 home runs in the MLB, just shy of 900 RBI, and over 1,000 hits, while keep in mind also playing no more than 70 registered games in any given season. He led the MLB in home runs 11 times and slugging 9 times, OPS 8 times, and RBI 7 times. There are a lot of great catchers enshrined in Cooperstown, but Josh Gibson may be the mightiest of them all. Let's go to first base. Lou Gehrig is our starting first baseman. Despite being a Hall of Famer and revered throughout most of his career, I somehow think we almost undervalue Lou Gehrig as a player. He finished just 7 home runs shy of 500 and 5 RBI shy of 2,000 for his career. He ranks 7th all-time in RBI. He drove in 140 or more 9 times in 11 seasons from 1927 to 1937. He was a 2-time MVP, but finished top 5 9 times in his career. And in 1937, to put his RBI total into perspective, he drove in 173 runs. 60 times he batted after Babe Ruth had cleared the bases. Lou Gehrig is our first baseman. Let's go to second base. Maybe one of the more unheralded Hall of Famers, at least in modern day. We're going to go with Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby had 2,930 hits in his career and a .335 career average. He also batted over 400 in a season 3 separate times, and he led Major League Baseball in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS every season from 1920 to 1925. He racked up more than 200 hits in a season 7 times in his career. He's also a 2-time MVP in 1925 and 1927. We're going to go with Rogers Hornsby at second base. Shortstop was a more difficult one to pick. And if you want to say Ernie Banks, I am totally okay with the guy who hit over 500 home runs, Mr. Cub himself being the selection. I went with Cal Ripken Jr. because him being the model of consistency, having at one point played over 2,600 consecutive games. Ripken hit 20 or more home runs in 10 consecutive seasons, 25 doubles or more, 11 straight years, and was an 8-time Silver Slugger and a 2-time MVP himself in 1983 and 1991. His near 3,200 hits are ranked 16th all-time, and if you take WAR into consideration, Ripken has a near 96 career WAR. We're going to go with Cal Ripken as our shortstop in this exercise. When it comes to third base, there is very little debate that Mike Schmidt is the greatest of all time. Brooks Robinson, to me, is the second best third baseman, but Schmidt holds claim as the best at that position. His 548 home runs rank 16th all time. He's a 6-time Silver Slugger and a 3-time MVP in 1980, 1981, and again in 1986. 8 times from 1974 to 1986, he led Major League Baseball in home runs and broke the 100 RBI mark 8 times over that stretch as well. He's also a 10-time Gold Glover, which might be even more impressive considering the playing surface that he played on at the Vet, which was effectively concrete with a little bit of carpet on top of it. Mike Schmidt is undeniably the best third baseman of all time. Let's move into our outfield. This is where it gets really interesting, but I think we've pinpointed the 3 best players at their position. Let's start in left field. We will go with Ted Williams. Widely considered to be the best pure hitter of all time, Williams has some of the best bat-to-ball skills in the history of the game. From 1939 to 1942, he hit .356, including his .406 season, the last .400 season in Major League Baseball. He also finished top 4 in the MVP voting 3 times in those 4 years. He then left baseball for 3 seasons to go serve in World War II. He came back and picked up right where he left off. From 1946 to 1960, he racked up another 1,900 hits, nearly 400 home runs, and had an on-base percentage of .482 with a 1.11 OPS. Even with his military service involved, he was a 2-time MVP who led Major League Baseball in on-base percentage 12 times and slugging 9 times. Ted Williams is one of the greatest hitters of all time. Let's move to center field. For my money, Willie Mays is not just the best center fielder of all time. He is the best player in the history of Major League Baseball. He's the true definition of a 5-tool player. He hit 660 home runs, drove in over 1,900 runs, stole well over 300 bags, and won 11 Gold Gloves, on top of being in the 1951 Rookie of the Year and a 2-time MVP award winner. He led Major League Baseball in triples 3 times, home runs 4 times, stolen bases 4 times, and slugging and OPS 5 times in his career. His 156 WAR is good for 5th all-time in baseball history. Willie Mays, to me, not just the best center fielder of all time, but the best player of all time. Let's go to right field. For a lot of people, still the home run king. Of course, we're going to pick Hank Aaron in this regard. The all-time home run leader from 1974 through 2007. Hank Aaron stands as not just one of the great power hitters of all time, but one of the great well-rounded hitters in the history of the game. Yes, Hank Aaron has 755 home runs, only surpassed by Barry Bonds, but he's also first in Major League Baseball history in RBI and total bases, and 3rd in all-time in hits. He hit 30 or more home runs 15 times over a 17-year span, hit 314 times in his career, went over 120 RBI 7 times, and missed 120 in 2 other seasons in that RBI category. He slugged over 600 6 times and had an OPS over 1 5 times in his career. One of the great hitters of all time. Hank Aaron did it with incredible longevity throughout his career. So that's our starting 9. Let's move into our starting rotation. 5 pitchers that I've selected to be in this all-time class conversation. To me, Bob Gibson is the best starting pitcher in the history of the modern era and posted the single best season of any starting pitcher in the modern MLB history. In 1968, Bob Gibson won 22 games while posting a 1.12 ERA, striking out 268 batters, and posting a sub .9 whip. He went complete game 28 times that year. He won the Cy Young and the MVP that season. And in total, Gibson compiled 251 wins and a 2.91 ERA. His 3,100 strikeouts are also good for top 20 of all time. He was also a solid defender on the mound in his own right. He racked up 9 Gold Gloves over 17 seasons. Starting pitcher number 2, Nolan Ryan, the strikeout king. Ryan was equally as fearsome as Bob Gibson was on the mound. Ryan is the MLB record holder in strikeouts, and it's not particularly close. His 5,714 are well over 800 strikeouts more than the second most all time. 6 different times he reached the 300 strikeout mark, including in 1989 when he was 42 years old. He led the league in strikeouts per 9 12 times, 9 of which were more than 10 strikeouts per 9 inning pitched. His 324 wins are 14th all time, but perhaps the most wild stat about Nolan Ryan is the fact that he never won a Cy Young and only finished second once in his 27-year career. Let's pick up our first lefty. Speaking of number 2 in strikeouts, Randy Johnson to me is the best left-handed pitcher of all time. I know Phillies fans, Steve Carlton is definitively in the conversation, but let's talk about the big unit's career and let me see if I can change your mind on the greatest lefty debate. His near 4,900 strikeouts are only bested by Ryan's 5,700, and he's one of just 4 pitchers all time to break the 4,000 mark. He's also a 5-time Cy Young winner. Only Roger Clemens' 7 is more than what Randy Johnson has posted. In those 5 Cy Young years included 4 consecutive Cy Young victories from 1999 to 2002, which may be one of the best 4-year stretches in the history of baseball. From 99 to 02, Randy Johnson threw over 1,000 innings, winning 81 games, striking out 1,400 plus hitters, leading the league every year in strikeouts acquired, tossing 31 complete games, and had a 2.64 ERA or better each of those 4 seasons. He cracked the 300 win mark in his final year at 45 years old and has a 1.17 career whip. To me, Randy Johnson is the best left-handed pitcher of all time. Let's go from a modern-day pitcher to the only not modern-day pitcher on this list. We're going to pick Walter Johnson. Choosing a pitcher from this portion of the 1900s can be a difficult task because it was an entirely different game and a different era. But to me, Walter Johnson was the most dominant pitcher of his era. His 417 wins are second only to Cy Young, and he's first in shutouts all time in Major League history with 110. He's also the only player ever to reach 400 wins and 3,500 strikeouts. He's a 2-time MVP in an era that didn't feature the Cy Young Award. 12 separate times Walter Johnson led the league in strikeouts, and 10 times he posted an ERA under 2. The 5th starter is the soft tosser of our group. We're going to go to Greg Maddux, the king of command. He walked less than 1,000 hitters in over 5,000 innings pitched and led the league in walks per 9 11 times in his career. His 355 wins are the 8th most all time, but they're the most amongst any pitcher who started their career from 1950 and onward. He won 4 consecutive Cy Youngs from 92 to 95 and finished within the top 5 9 times within a 12-year period. And fun fact regarding Greg Maddux, he holds the record for most gold gloves ever acquired. His 18 gold gloves are the most at any position all time in the course of Major League Baseball. All right, that's going to wrap up our starting 9 and our starting rotation. Who would you put on this list that maybe we did not include? Who is your all-time great players that are enshrined in Cooperstown? It's a fun debate with countless different starting rotations and starting lineups that we consider, but all in all, this is a pretty darn good team. So a happy birthday to the hallowed halls of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown.